How's it going, everybody? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson, and today I want to show you how to play three cool, pretty easy riffs from Rush. So Rush is one of my all-time favorite bands, and I wanted to make sure I included them in this three riffs series. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look. Alright, so the first one we're going to look at is Limelight. So this one starts off, this first riff doesn't start on 1, so it starts actually on the and of 2. So you rest 1 and 2 and. So it's these first part of it here is all eighth notes. So we've got open, low E, and that, like I said, that's on the and of 2. And then we go to the 4th fret of the low E, and then the open A string, and then the 4th fret of the A string, and then to the 2nd fret of the D string. So I got Alright, and then following that, we've got a B5. So I've got my first finger here on the 2nd fret of the A string, and then I'm picking up the 4th fret of the D and G string with my 3rd fingers, right, barring it like that. Now you could also do it this way and use your 3rd finger on the D string and your 4th finger on the G string. So we've got that on the downbeat of 1 of the next measure. It's just an 8th note. And then we rest on the and of 2, on the and of 1 and then all of 2. And then on the downbeat of 3, we hit that chord again. And we let that ring out for the downbeat of, we let that ring out until the downbeat of 4. And then we pick up the 4th fret of the low E again. And then to an A5. So 5th string, A string open, and then I'm barring the 2nd fret of the D and G string. So that's like half of the riff. And then that repeats. Then we go on to this next part of it that is similar. It starts off the same way with the... Then we go to the B5 for, we hit that twice and then we have a rest, and then we go to this E5 over A. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take the B5 shape and we're going to move it up a set of strings. So now your first finger is on the 2nd fret of the D string and your 3rd finger is on the 4th fret of the G string, and we're going to play the A and B strings open. And we do that one twice too. So we've got and then a rest, rest, and then we have this like kind of extended like E chord here. So it's like a B5 over E. So we've got first finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and then 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the D, 4th finger on the 4th fret of the G, and the low E is open. So it's like, and then just that same, and then that part repeats too. Just like that. Alright, so the next one we're going to look at is Red Barchetta. So this is completely done, this is just the intro riff for it that's just completely done with natural harmonics. So this one's really easy. So if you don't know how to do a natural harmonic, what it is like here, the first one is on the 12th fret of the G string. So what I'm doing is instead of actually pressing on the fret, I've got my finger just touching the string, but I'm right, instead of being between the fret wires here, I'm right over the top of the fret wire for the 12th fret. And then you pick that, and you don't want to just leave your finger there, because then it'll fade off. So you want to lift your finger off. So we've got the first one here, then the 7th fret of the A string, and again the same thing. I'm just touching the string right on top of the fret wire. Then to the 7th fret of the D string, and then follow that with the 12th fret of the A string. So that's basically the riff. Now, so on the first measure of that, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the second measure, it's those same harmonics, but now we've got 1, 2, and then that's tied to beat 3, and then on beat 4 we go back to here, so. Whoops. So that's the first two measures, and then measure 3 and measure 4 are the same, and then it just repeats. So we've got. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then last but not least, we have Fly By Night. This was like, I believe, the very first Rush riff that I ever learned when I was a kid, when I was taking lessons. This one's pretty easy. So we start off, we just got a regular D chord. So D string open, I'm on the 2nd fret of the G string with my 1st finger, 3rd fret of the B string with my 3rd finger, 2nd fret of the high E with my 2nd finger. So this is like 1, and then on the downbeat of 2 we rest, and then on the and of 2 we strum the D again, and then we rest on the or we let that ring out for the and of 2 plus all of 3, and then we rest on 4. So it's like, then we have E minor 7. So we're going to keep our fingers where they are. We're just going to take your 1st finger and move it from the 2nd fret of the G string. We're going to move it down so it's on the 2nd fret of the D string. And then put your pinky down onto the 3rd fret of the high E string. Same timing. So we've got the D. Then on the, instead of being a rest on the beat number 4, we've got this 8th note, so it's the open A string, 4, and then the and of 4 we go to the 2nd fret. And you just want to keep your 3rd and 4th finger the way we had them here. So then on the downbeat of the 3rd measure, our 2nd finger goes to the 3rd fret of the A string, and then our 2nd finger goes to the 2nd fret of the D string. So we've got, and then we strum just the G, B, and E strings together, and again your 3rd finger should be on the 3rd fret of the B, and your 4th finger should be on the 3rd fret of the G string. Then we go to the 2nd fret of the A string. So we move our 1st finger from the 2nd fret of the D string to the 2nd fret of the A string. And we do the same thing again. We pick A, D, but now the D string is open. And strum the G, B, and E strings again, still with our fingers on there. So far. Then on the and of 4, open A string, then your 1st finger to the 1st fret on the downbeat of 1 of the 4th measure, to the open D string, and strum the top end of that chord again, the G, B, and high E. Then we have an A5, so just like the regular A5 like we did before. Then we have a G5 over A, so we're just going to lift these fingers off and strum just the A, D, and G strings open, and then back to the A5, and then that just repeats. So that whole riff really slowly. so there you have it. Three fun to play, cool sounding, difficult to play riffs from Rush. Rush has such a gigantic catalog. I mean, there's so many riffs that I will be doing more, I'm sure, of Rush riffs in this series. So if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this or other guitar-related topics. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we upload throughout the week. Well, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching and have a great day.